Yo, what's up, guys? Day Supreme back to another video. Today, I'm going to be going over my entire WWE and somewhat TNA Ruthless Aggression collection. Now, on the WWE Vault YouTube channel, they have this marathon going on, and it was Rob Van Dam versus Hardcore Holly. This is the match when he splits his back open. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of got a little nostalgic for the Ruthless Aggression era, 2006, that whole just era in general. And I just wanted to go through my entire Ruthless Aggression collection and, go through memory lane basically. So, starting things off, this is a figure that really disappoints me, and it's not because the figure is bad, it's because of the material Jax used for the jacket. It is this Booker T. Now, on camera, it doesn't look bad, but if you look close at like the jacket, you might see it looks like there's moisture on it. That's because it's super sticky. It's been sitting in the packaging. I recently took it out not so long ago, and it just, I don't know. So, I do have a bag for these kind of figures. It's these two right here. Got this Carlito and Mick Foley. They're both in here because their shirts are sticky. So I don't know if there's a way to fix this. If there is, I'd love to know. But yeah, as of right now, I just have them in this Ziploc baggie. But yeah, that's basically starting out my Ruthless Aggression collection. Let's get into it. So starting things out, let's see. We'll start with this one right here. So here we got one of my more favorite figures, and this is another figure I just recently got too. Here we got MVP. I love this figure so much. It's so goofy. I love it. Up next is this Cyber Sunday Jeff Hardy head swap. This is with like your traditional Jax Jeff head scan around that time. So pretty cool. It's just a head swap. I got a lot of these Cyber Sunday Jeffs. So I just decided to do a head swap with the Backlash Jeff, and it looks alright. It doesn't look too bad. I do want to get some more Jeffs, as you will see. I only got Cyber Sunday Jeffs with different heads. So that's the extent of my Jeff Hardy collection, is just Cyber Sunday Jeffs with different heads. Here we have the original Cyber Sunday Jeff. Love the way this figure looks. I've always loved it. I still remember getting this, my mom ordering it from Ringside Collectibles over the phone. And man, dude, it just brings back a lot of good memories, not gonna lie. Up next is my custom TNA Jeff Hardy. So it's from the Twist of Hate 2-pack. Sorry about how dusty the legs are. I had these in storage for a long time, so I definitely need to clean all of these off. But yeah, this is my Twist of Hate Jeff Hardy. Again, Cyber Sunday Jeff with a head swap. I really do like how this looks, since we never got a RA style of a short hair Jeff Hardy. So yeah. Continuing on, here we got Randy Orton. Pretty cool figure. This is actually my second Ruthless Aggression Randy Orton, so pretty happy to have it. Up next is this ECW Elijah Burks. Pretty happy I have this. I do want to get some more of his figures. This is actually my second figure that I got of him. My first one was the Build and Brawl figures, if you guys remember those. Up next is another recent figure I got. It came in a 2-pack with the MVP. It's more or less of like a backstage Matt Hardy, and I really love how this figure looks. Just a, backstage looking Matt. Really awesome figure. Up next is probably one of my more rare Ruthless Aggression figures. I'm not too sure how rare this is compared to the Deluxe Aggression counterpart, but it's Matt Hardy in tights. Very, very happy to have this in my collection. Wish it was more detailed like the back of the box showed, but it is what it is. I just remember seeing this on eBay and I needed to get it immediately, so yeah. Up next is like a more Hardy Boys-esque Matt Hardy. Again, I need to clean a lot of these off, so I do apologize if that's picking up on camera, but this Matt has a super loose arm. You'll notice a lot of these Jacks have really loose arms and all that, so yeah, but really cool figure. Up next is this Rocky Maivia, so pretty cool. Up next is Christian. Do like this figure a lot. Little backstory to when I was younger. So, Christian, I'll just leave him right here. And then the next guy I'll bring out, this is actually another new figure I just got recently too. This is Chris Benoit. I used to pretend these two were brothers. Why? I wish I had an answer, but for some reason I always had Benoit and Christian as my tag team champions, and they were brothers apparently. So yeah. Up next, we got Tito Santana, so pretty cool. So the story behind the blood on this figure's face is my mom got these from a work friend, and I got these, I got these, I was probably in 4th grade, I think, and I got a big garbage bag full of legends. And this was one of them. A few of them more in here, but yeah, sadly the previous owner drew blood on them. Which sucks, but it is what it is. I'm happy to have it in my collection. So yeah. Up next is Finley. I've always loved the Finley head scans. They're amazing. I wish Mattel would be able to make these legendary Finley head scans. Here we got the legendary Iron Sheik. Yeah, all of his promos and everything, man, legend. Here we got my first, well, not my first in my collection, but first for the video. My first TNA Ruthless Impact, Kevin Nash. So pretty cool. Did like it a lot. Up next is Sergeant Slaughter. So pretty cool figure. I do wish the hat came off, but it is what it is. Up next is the Boogeyman, and he's coming to get you. I really do love this figure. Another story, actually, but if I can speak, behind this figure, this was a few years after. I was probably in middle school, and I remember my mom, my mom got me a lot of these figures, so, I I don't think I'd be in this position with all these action wrestling figures if it wasn't for my mom and dad. So they got me into this wild mess. But anyways, I remember at an old gas station, one of the clerks or whatever was like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to get rid of a whole bunch of these old wrestling toys that my husband doesn't want anymore." My mom was like, "Oh, my son would be into them." So my mom, the whole transaction and everything, and I got a whole bunch of Jack's Classic Superstars. This obviously isn't a classic superstar, but this was in the lot, and yeah, another awesome, awesome memory. So, again, my mom got me a whole bunch of these when I was younger. So, again, if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't be as heavy into collecting as I am today. But yeah, the Boogeyman. Up next, we got this Rock. I don't know why I still have this jacket on him. I need to take it off at some point, but yeah, the Rock, pretty cool figure. So yeah, nothing too crazy. I would like to get a wrestling attire Rock at some point. Here we got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Pretty cool. Love this figure a lot. I do, just like The Rock, I need to get a wrestling attire Austin. I love how his head looks. Besides the scuff marks and everything, it just looks like such a goofy head scan. I love it. Here we got another figure that I would maybe consider rare. It's a modern Eddie Guerrero. This was in the Legends line, I believe, if I remember right. Got this on eBay a few years ago. So yeah, very happy to have this in my collection. Up next, we got Devon Dudley. Pretty cool figure. I know we got Bubba Ray somewhere in there, but I really need to get the matching attires for the two different. I don't know why I pulled them away while I'm still talking about them. The matching Dudley boys. But yeah, pretty cool figure. So yeah. Up next is the Big Red Machine Kane. Pretty cool figure. Up next is another Tito Santana. I'm giving you a lot of backstories on these, and I do apologize. I know some people are probably like, hurry up the collection, but I'm going through these and it's kind of nostalgic, so I'm just giving some backstories. For this Tito Santana, I know I have Rick Martel that went with this figure. This was, I think it was in, it might have been at the end of middle school. I don't really remember when it was. But I remember it was my birthday, and my grandma got them for me. They were on the clearance thing, and I just remember she got them for me, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's just super awesome. Like my grandma never really got me like wrestling figures or anything for my birthday, but I remember she got me these Rick Martel and Tito Santana, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, but yeah, Tito Santana. Here we got Hulk Hogan, brother. Pretty cool figure. Yeah. Next up is one of the Gemini twins. I don't remember who this one is. I think it's, I'm not even going to attempt. I don't remember their names anyway. So, but if anyone had any of the Gemini twins when they were younger, I guarantee you we used them as a Goldberg placeholder, because yeah, besides that, I don't think anyone else used them as the actual Gemini twins. Up next, we got another Hogan. Pretty cool. Sadly, the eye is a little mispainted on this one, but besides that, pretty cool figure. Do like it a lot. Up next is Jim the Anvil Neidhart. As you can tell, there's blood. A pretty apparent on this figure. And when I first got it, it was really bad. My dad actually had this one in his collection, but he recently just gave me his collection. I'll do a video on his collection in the future, but the blood on this was really, really bad. So I got a lot of it off, but I'm still working on it. So hopefully one of these days I can get it completely clean. Maybe I'll do a head swap. We'll see. But it just really bothers me that there's still red stainage on this figure. But it is what it is. Like I said before, it was really bad. Next up, we got Bret Hart. Really happy to have Bret and Jim in the Ruthless Aggression collection. So yeah, pretty cool figure. Just besides his very bugged out head scan. Coming up next, we got another Chris Benoit. Pretty cool. I do like the gray / silver attire. So yeah, pretty cool. Continuing on, we got Umaga. Pretty cool. Up next, we got Paul Orndorff. Pretty cool. Next up is The Miz. Up next is Mr. Anderson. Pretty cool. Or Ken Kennedy. Yeah, pretty cool figure. Continuing on, we got this not so good Dusty Rhodes figure. I don't like the body choice they used for this figure. I got another Dusty Rhodes somewhere in this box that I'll show. I like the body they used for that figure more. This figure just, he looks way too big in my personal opinion, but yeah, Dusty Rhodes. Up next is another Gemini twin, or better known as a Goldberg placeholder. Up next is the ECW Series 1 CM Punk. Very happy to have this in my collection. And yeah. Followed up by Undertaker. I'll actually say Undertaker right here because guess what? Another story time. If I can find the figure that he came with, I don't think I'll be able to. It's somewhere here in this box. Let's see. Might have to do a jump cut here. As soon as I say I'm going to do a jump cut, I find it immediately. But anyways, to go with this Undertaker, I have this Edge. So these two, I actually still have the belt. So sadly, I can't find it right now, but it came with a World Heavyweight Championship. And this was the first 2-pack my dad actually got me. I still remember him giving this to me, along with a Deluxe Aggression, John Cena. And I also had a Titantron Live, Mick Foley. I played with these figures every time I was watching SmackDown, so yeah. I see, obviously without editing, we're at the 18-minute mark. I still got quite a few figures I need to go through. I'm going to start rapid firing through some of these. I'll try and cut back with some of those stories too. I don't know, just going through all these, I'm getting kind of nostalgic. But anyways, continuing on, we got Ric Flair. Pretty cool figure, just got this from eBay a few years back. And then following that, we got Jimmy Hart, right? Yeah, Jimmy Hart, right? Yeah, Jimmy Hart. I don't know why. I couldn't remember for some reason. Continuing on, we got Orlando Jordan, so pretty cool. And then following that, we got Superstar Billy Graham, pretty cool. Up next, we got Bobby Lashley. I remember getting this at a local comic book shop. Yeah, and then like shortly after that, comic book shop flooded, so pretty cool. Anyways, yeah. Continuing on, we got Brutus the Barber Beefcake, pretty cool. Just so everyone knows, that comic book shop moved to a different location and is still thriving. So, yeah. But anyways, here we got Howard Finkel. Pretty cool. So there, everything's falling. Here we got Terry Funk. Continuing on, we got another Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So, pretty cool figure. Following that, we got this CM Punk. So, yeah. I did do a head swap with a Deluxe Aggression CM Punk. So, it has the Deluxe head scan, so yeah, that's why I don't think anyone noticed, but I don't even know why I was explaining that, but yeah. Here we got Big Show with the Elite 4 Synclet. I put this on when I was younger, because that's what Big Show was wearing at the time, and I just never changed it back, so I do want to kind of acetone the Synclet off underneath, or I'll just find a Big Show that has the Synclet not painted on, so yeah. Continuing on, we got Mark Henry, pretty cool figure. Up next, we got Captain Lou Albano, pretty cool. Following that, we got Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh. Continuing on, we got the Junkyard Dog. Really love this figure. I need to get an updated Elite at some point, but yeah, JYD. And continuing on, we got this Triple H. I did actually used to have a DX Triple H, but for some reason I took the hair off. This was before he had short hair too. I think I just wanted to see what Triple H would look like with short hair, but yeah, little story. Up next is Chris Benoit in the yellow attire, so pretty cool. Followed up by JBL, pretty cool. I do need to find a wrestling attire, JBL in the future. Continuing on, we got the Rated R Superstar Edge, pretty cool figure. I do like the gray attire. Followed up by Tyson Kidd, pretty cool. And here we got Rey Mysterio, so pretty cool figure. Next, I got another Tito Santana. I'm surprised I even have this many Tito Santanas. Up next is Goldberg, so pretty cool. This was the Goldberg I was talking about. Well, no, it was Boogeyman, and then I got this Goldberg too. I don't remember if I said that earlier in the video, but that was another figure. There's been a few other figures that were in this video that I got from that lot. But anyways, here's the Dusty Rhodes that I do like. I think this body fits a lot more, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah. Then continuing on, we got another TNA Ruthless Impact, that is Suicide, so pretty cool figure. Next we got the Bully Ray I was talking about earlier, so pretty cool. Up next we got the Monster Abyss, so really awesome. Followed up by Rick Martel, pretty cool figure. And then continuing on, we got this Fit Finley, pretty cool. Up next is Goldust, pretty cool figure. Followed up by Marty Jannetty. Next, we got Biscuits and Gravy. Made me a man. We got Jesse. I need to find Festa someday, but yeah. Continuing on, we got TNA. I think it was Legends of the Ring. I don't know if that's what the line was called, but we got this Sting, so really awesome figure. I do like it a lot. Then up next, we got this King Kong Bundy. Really cool figure. That Mick Foley left a lot of red stainage on these figures too, which really does suck, but it is what it is. Continuing on, we got this Randy Orton, so pretty cool. And then right after that, we got this TNA Kurt Angle. Do like this figure a lot. Up next, we got the voice of ECW, Joey Styles. Oh my god! I always love when he did that. Continuing on, we got Dude Love. Surprisingly, this figure doesn't have a sticky rubber shirt, so I don't know why the other ones do. It's really weird. And then up next, 2 for 1, we got 2 different versions of Jake the Snake. Pretty cool. Just a forewarning, I found another figure that I'm gonna be telling a little story about, so I do apologize about how long. Hopefully this video is short after the editing, but I'm just going through memory lane, so I do apologize about all the stories. But anyways, here we got this Shawn Michaels. Back then I cut the ponytail off, and you can actually helicopter this Shawn Michaels. I won't do it right now, but you can kind of see what I mean. But yeah, helicoptering action Shawn Michaels. And then I got this other awesome Shawn Michaels. Pretty cool figure. And then here is this other figure that I'm going to tell a story about. So I do apologize about the stories. But anyways, here we got this Eric Bischoff. Now, I'll try and be quick with the story. So when I was younger, me and my grandma went to an auction, and it was like 2 auctions going on at once. Or it was one auction, and then there was on the other side of this big tarp, they were like displaying stuff for probably a different auction, or it was something else. I remember I kept on asking my grandma if I can go over to the other section, and she was like, yeah, sure, just be careful, yada yada. So I went over, and I remember just looking around, and I found this Eric Bischoff, and at the time I was young, I didn't know who he was. I just saw that it was the body style, and I was like, oh, I need this figure. Obviously I didn't have money because I was just a little kid, so I just remember constantly going back to it and just picking it up and looking at it. And I remember this one dude, I'll never forget, like, I hope this dude's doing well, but I remember this one dude and then this one woman, they were obviously operating the table, and I remember one time, like, well, not one time, but I kept on looking at it, I kept on picking it up, putting it down, then going around, then coming back to it, and just, you know, as a kid, I wish I had money and all that, but I didn't want to be like, hey, can you please pay for this or something. I was just looking at it, just wishing I could get it. I'll never forget, the guy pulled out his wallet and gave the money to the woman, and he said, there you go, kid. And, dude, oh my god. Again, I hope that guy's doing well, but this Eric Bischoff means so much to me, dude. Again, I hope that guy's doing well. But anyways, yeah, Eric Bischoff. Again, I apologize about all the stories, but I'm just going through all these figures, just kind of taking me back through memory lane. But anyways, here we got Bam Bam Bigelow, pretty cool figure. Up next, we got another TNA figure. This is Jay Lethal, really awesome figure. Continuing on, we got this furry George the Animal Steel. So pretty cool. Up next is yet another Chris Benoit. So pretty cool. And then continuing on, we got Hillbilly Jim. Continuing on, we got Big John Studd. Pretty cool figure. And continuing on, we got Nikolai Volkov. Pretty cool. Next, we got Rosie. Up next, we got John Cena. And I'll be honest, I feel like every kid that grew up with the Ruthless Aggression collection, or the Ruthless Aggression era, I feel like every kid had this in their collection. I just remember watching YouTube videos when I was younger, and like every kid had this in their collection. Continuing on, we got Vladimir Kozlov. Very stained by that Mick Foley, which is super annoying. That's what kind of caused me to put it in the bag, because yeah, it's so annoying, dude. I need to try and clean it off someday. But anyways, up next is Heidenreich. So pretty cool figure. Didn't mean for him to go low like that. Jeez. Whoops. Continuing on, we got this leg swap for Santino Marella. So these used to be John Cena lower legs, and I was going to buy a Sinklet to make modern day Santino, but never did. So as Grim would say, what a waste. Up next is probably my favorite Ruthless Aggression CM Punk. So really awesome figure. I do like it a lot. And we're down to the final three. So the final three are Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick, and Road Warrior Animal. So yeah, that was my entire WWE Ruthless Aggression collection. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.